Now that is a big difference to me.
Taking the testament of Jesus directly from the Quran, from what Muhammad said.
Just like we take the testimony of Moses directly from the Torah with regards to the story of Noah and the story of Adam, which came thousands of years before Moses, and you agree with that, don't you? You don't say, oh, Moses came thousands of years after Noah and after Adam. Why should we believe in the stories that Moses told of thousands of years later? Now, the same question we Muslims will ask you. But the reason we don't ask you this question, because to us it makes sense that revelation, when it comes to a messenger or a prophet, the prophet is tested whether he's a true prophet and messenger of God.
Once the heads off, he's not a prophet, bro.
Well, Moses cuts heads off as well. But he did cut off heads.
Yeah, but Jesus came to fulfill his law. You don't need another law to come afterwards.
Why not?
Why should you, mate?
Because
taking the Bible stories and using them and twisting them. That's what.
Are you going to hit and run, or are you going to have a dialogue?
Honestly.
Well, honestly, wait a minute. Your first
heresy.
Okay, but we don't care about your heresy anyway.
If you don't, gonna drive you out, mate.
I don't care about the Church of England. Doesn't belong to me.
They're gonna come and get you and expel you.
I'm not scared of that. I'm only scared of Allah.
Good for you, mate. But not in this England anymore. It's finished.
Who's finished?
Oh, look, my question is.
England,
my question is.
He's coming for you.
Well, we got the Queen now. Don't worry.
If your testament,
I don't know what's your about that guy. He's a joker, I think. He just came. So anyway, what I was saying is that when a revelation comes to a messenger and a prophet, we test the messenger and the prophet, whether he's a true messenger and prophet, and they normally are given certain things like miracles, yes, certain things like prophecies, and these things can only be known to a prophet or a messenger, and can only be done by a prophet or a messenger. So what is a miracle? A miracle is something that nothing that can explain it. So you cannot have a scientific explanation for it. Not a phenomenon that you can explain. Yes, like splitting the sea, or bringing the dead back to life, or going to the seven heavens in a night, like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So these prophets and messengers, they had certain special gifts which God had given them, had bestowed or blessed them with, that they can. But once they have been tested, then people acknowledge that these are the true messengers of God. That's why we don't question Moses when he tells us about the story of the flood, or the story of Adam and Eve, or any other stories from the previous history.
Is there any other testament besides the Quran that would say Jesus actually did say that, and say what Muhammad said, like wrote down? Is there any other testament?
The testimony of Jesus himself.
Because in the Quran it says Jesus didn't die, it said Judas died, isn't it?
No, it doesn't say Judas. It doesn't. It says in the Quran, it only says that it appeared to them so, that he was crucified. But before that, Allah says, وَمَا قَتَلُهُ وَمَا صَلَبُهُ, he was neither killed nor crucified. Now this is an explicit statement in the Quran. And people say that
some Muslims think that.
So these, what you're telling is basically these are the tafsirs that have been written. So these are exegesis, or the narration of people, the opinion of the people. But from what the Quran tells us, the Quran is silent about the substitution. Silent about who was substituted. But it doesn't say the crucifixion did not happen, but the crucifixion of Jesus did not happen. Do you understand the difference?
No, we don't accept that.
To some people it appeared that yes, they saw the crucifixion, and that's why you have historians writing about it, you have other people writing about it. Yes, but because Jesus was saved by God Almighty, saved for the second mission, which is the second, according to Muhammad, like I said, just like
but there's
you.
No other testament that would say.
Well, there are many early Christians who did not believe in the crucifixion. Many early Christians who did not believe in the crucifixions, and this is a testimony from their side. And these were early Christians. Yes, and they themselves did not believe in this. So what I'm saying is that there are Christians.
But they didn't believe in it until Jesus actually reappeared to them and said, "Look, you
No.
know."
I'm saying history beyond
we're
that.
talking about semi-Christian or heretical groups.
Well, you call them heretical,
but they've disappeared.
You know, the Catholics will call you guys heretical. Yes.
Well, we're becoming closer. Actually, we have good relations now.
Are you? What is your view about Mary?
Well, I believe she is the person as described in the Gospels.
Is she the eternal virgin?
No. God has given her.
Is she the mother of God?
Well,
so don't tell me you're getting close to the Catholics, please. Don't tell me you're getting close to the Catholics, because the Catholics have been there long before you guys came along. Anyway, most of the books that you have written, the Gospels and all that, they came from the Catholics. So it is it's inheritance from them. So you cannot denounce them, because today the majority of the Christians are Catholic actually.
Well, half the Christians.
You can't deny, no, majority of them I would say.
No, it's
when you look at the different
percentage.
sects within the Christianity, I think the Catholics hold the major part.
Well, when I was born 50 years ago, 60 years ago, the Catholics are about 60% of the world's Christians. Now it's less than 50%.
Yeah, I think the rest
Pentecostals
no, I think the rest converted to Islam. You're right. Yeah,
no. It's the charismatic and Pentecostal churches and evangelical churches which are growing very fast.
Yeah, but
in Latin America, in Africa, in Asia.
But according to the survey done by Pew, one of the greatest research institutes out there, Islam is the fastest growing religion.
Right, evangelical and charismatic Christianity.
Yeah, they come later on, but Islam is still the fastest growing.
Well, it's destroying itself faster.
Well, this is your delusion. Maybe you can. That's your
You see
opinion.
it every day on the news. You see Islam is destroying itself.
Who is the biggest producer of weapons of mass destruction?
But who are the people carrying out the most violence?
Look in America, the gun violence. In fact, there is more people dying in America every year than some of the conflict zones in the world. Yes, they go. 15-year-olds have got easy access to guns. Yes, and they'll go about killing their classmates and the teachers. Yes, but do you guys speak up them and call them terrorists? No, they call them what? Lone wolves, mentally unstable, all these kind. But the terrorist term is only reserved, unfortunately, for these fringe Muslims who would commit these atrocities in the name of religion. So don't throw stones at others, because you have just as many, if not more, black sheep in your religion than the Muslims. In fact, most of the state terrorism, yes, killing using weapons of mass destruction, is done by the Christian nation. You know, during the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the only atomic bomb that was used by human beings, you know what did the President of America, you know what he said that time? Thank God. And who is his God? Jesus Christ. So according to him,
I mean, nuclear weapons are terrible weapons.
This is
it did
by the way,
end the war.
For those who don't remember, yes, from what I read, it was President Newman. President Newman says, thank God. So this is Truman, yes. So this is like the jihadists. They call them jihadists, these people in ISIS and all. They say Allahu Akbar. So this is Jesus Akbar. Thank God, he's saying.
Yeah, okay.
Now,
I've spent 2 years of my life working for the campaign for nuclear disarmament, so I know how awful these weapons are.
Do you agree the majority of them are Christian nations who produce them?
Well, America is...
Well, America and Europe.
But also the
America and
atheists,
Europe.
the Soviet atheists.
Yeah, so let's say it's the Christians and the atheists. I agree.
The American state is not simply a Christian state.
And they do not only
from the church.
And you know what I mean by the manufacturers of the weapons. I do not only mean the manufacturer, but they are the main arms dealers. So they actually sell to people. In fact, most of the weapons used by these terrorists are made by them. Yes.
Yeah. But for a lot of the last century,
I mean, I still can't believe in America they can buy an assault rifle on the counter within minutes.
We think
that is outrageous. And even after, it just shows a lobby. This what is it called, the NRA or something?
Yeah, National Rifle Association.
Yeah. So the NRA, this lobby is so strong that they can actually change and they can influence policies and about gun laws and stuff like that. So even the Congress, even the Parliament cannot pass a bill without somehow indirectly their permission or their agreement.
That should change, and I hope it will. I hope there'll be more gun control in America.
We can't say because America is doing it automatically the government is Christian, because it's not a theocracy there, So we can't say America, they're Christian, they're doing that.
Like I told you, when Truman said thank God, after basically destroying these two cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, within minutes, yes, they just evaporated. These women, children, animals, even everything that grows there for decades, even that is now radioactive. So the children who are born, they are born disabled and with anomalies. Now you don't tell me that religion has nothing to do with this. Of course it has. If you look at especially in America, if you look at the people who are standing for election, people like Trump, yes, these people go to Bible meetings. They they use the Bible when they swear allegiance, or they basically for the presidential swearing and so on. So don't tell me religion has nothing to do with. When people like George Bush, yes, during the Gulf Wars, yes, says that he saw a dream that God told him to go and invade them and to rescue them or whatever. Religion has a huge role to play. Whenever you have people like this, so even though there might not be a theocracy, in paper it might seem like a democracy, but the people influencing the policies have got a lot to do with religion.
Does it say on the bank though?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, in God we trust.
You know, when you talk about Americans and Christians, there's a family called the Sackler family, and the Sackler family own a pharmaceutical company called Purdue Pharmaceuticals. So the manufacturers of OxyContin. Over OxyContin addiction, hundreds of thousands of people are addicted to it. Over the last 4 years, there are 65,000 deaths because of a medication that people are hooked on because of a Christian family with a Christian government regulation. So why don't people talk about more people dying from opioid overdoses than died in the Vietnam War?
I have heard it mentioned. Is that a painkiller?
And you know what is worse? What is worse? Not just so these atrocities, people can all see them. What is worse is that no one can bring them to account. So these people who had committed the state terrorism around the world, yes, going beyond their borders, going all the way to Afghanistan and Iraq. Iraq is a very good example. They were blamed for the 9/11, and they did not find any weapons of mass destruction there. Yes, they were led into a war, and nearly 500,000 today have died, including women and children. Suffering, unknown suffering. Yes. This is something
Saddam
that
Hussein started the war by invading Kuwait.
no, but that wasn't the reason. That wasn't the reason the coalition went there during the second Gulf War, and you know that very well. During the First World War, during the first Gulf War, when Saddam Hussein did annex Kuwait, yes, the Muslims got involved in that fight to kick him out of that. But you know, after 10 years, when there was a second Gulf War, when the 9/11 happened, they were blamed. Yes, and the Afghans were blamed. And where was the weapons of mass destruction? Jesus. Jesus was behind everything. So what I'm saying is that these people are not brought to justice, and that is the worst thing. Today these criminals just roam around freely, you know, without any fear. And this is what I'm saying, that this has become so easy to go around and destroy the lives and the houses and the lands of people with complete impunity. Now this is something that the world has become today. And don't tell me religion doesn't play a role. It does play a huge role.
But what started it? Two individuals.
No, instead of blaming God for everything.
Sorry, I'm trying to listen. What is it? Sorry?
Two countries that nationalised their oil.
Ask the question, why is blaming God for
Which two countries? Venezuela? Was it Venezuela?
It's a man who doing not God.
Oh, is it? Oh, Libya and Iraq?
Because
Gaddafi and Saddam, you know that.
companies are exploiting them. That's what they do. And so what they're doing is they want the profits of the
Okay, anyway, I think we have had a long discussion, but thank you guys for your time.
All right, okay, thank you.
All right, what's your name, my friend? Sean. Very nice.
I'm Stephen.
Stephen, nice speaking to you. Hashim.
Sorry?